that I had not learned yet.
Karma preprosto samo predstavlja, pomeni tiste stvari, ki se jih še nisem naučil.
And because the universe says, but I want to learn,
In ker univerzum pravi, ampak želim se učiti.
so till you don't learn, you won't finish this.
Tega procesa ne boste zaključili, dokler se ne naučite.
And sometimes this is a partner, this is a son, this is husband, this is whatever.
In včasih to nihanje nihala predstavlja, to je partner, morda je to vaš sin, morda je to kdorkoli, vaš partner.
The thing is, the good part of it is when I am still looking to the positive in many lives until I start to look in the negative.
In kaj se zgodi? Skozi dolga življenja iščem samo pluse, dokler ne začnem spoznavati tudi minusov.
When I go to the negative part, I became the other.
Ko grem v negativno stran, sem jaz tisti, ki postanem ta drugi.
So I could see from the perspective of my opposite.
In lahko vidim iz perspektive mojega nasprotnega pola.
Living the same but in a different way.
Živim sicer enako, ampak na drugačen način.
So that's why the third dimension is a place where you experience all the realities that we created here as a purpose.
In zato je tretja dimenzija, tista dimenzija, v kateri živimo vse te stvarnosti, ki smo jih ustvarili iz svojega namena.
The fourth dimension is when I realized that I created this and I said, okay, I understood.
Četrta dimenzija pa je, ko spoznam, aha, jaz sem tisti, ki je vse to ustvaril.
And then I look into myself and I said, oh, I did my purpose.
In takrat pogledam vase in rečem, opravil sem svoj namen.
We usually believe that our purpose are very important things like, I don't know, change the world or whatever.
Velikokrat namreč mislimo, da je naš namen nekaj zelo velikega, spreminjanje sveta in podobno.
But sometimes it's just tiny things in our home.
Včasih pa gre za čisto drobne stvari v našem domu.
And because everything is a fractal, what you do at home, you help the whole world.
In ker je vse v fraktalih, v posameznih delčkih, je to, kar ste vi naredili v svojem lastnem domu, nekaj, kar je spremenilo in pripomoglo k čisto vsemu.
So we have to remember, we are only one being experiencing many different ways of being.
In zato si moramo zapomniti, da smo sicer eno bitje, ki pa izkušamo različne načine bivanja tega istega bitja.
So if there is something that the universe don't want, is that we all do the same stuff.
Če pa je v vesolju ena stvar, ki je vesolje ne želi, je, da bi vsi počeli isto stvar.
That's why we are all different.
In zato smo si vsi med seboj različni.
We are meant to be like that.
Tako je namenjeno.
And we don't have to do the things that we believe we should do because others are doing this too.
In zato naj ne bi se trudili početi stvari, istih stvari, ki jih počnejo tudi drugi.
We have to play our own role in this flower.
V tej veliki roži moramo odigrati svojo lastno vlogo.
And by doing this, you help everyone so they don't have to live your same reality.
In ko to naredite, pomagate čisto vsem, da jim ni treba živeti vaše lastne stvarnosti.
That's why there are martyrs in the history.
In zato zgodovina pozna mučenike.
People that used to suffer so others don't have to suffer.
To so ljudje, ki so trpeli, zato da je bilo to trpljenje prihranjeno drugim.
And suffer is going very deep.
In tu gre trpljenje res zelo globoko.
Yeah, while everyone is here,
Medtem ko so vsi tukaj nekje,
some people go down here.
gredo nekateri ljudje res v globino na to točko.
And we call that hell.
In temu rečemo pekel.
Yeah, but hell is not something outside.
Ampak spet pekel ni nekaj, kar je izven nas.
Heaven either.
Niti nebesa.
Yeah, both of them are a projection of our higher being and the lower being.
Oba sta projekcija našega višjega bitja in nižjega bitja.
That's why at the moment we die, we go through this to go here.
In zato v trenutku, ko umremo, gremo skozi to, da pridemo na to točko.
So that's why we fear death,
In zato nas je tako strah smrti.
because all the dark is around.
Zato, ker jo obdaja vsa tema.
Yeah, but I will get here according to the frequency I have here.
Ampak na to drugo stran bom prišel v skladu s frekvenco, ki jo imam na levi strani.
Because if here I have a low frequency in my life, like all the time like this,
Če imam tukaj v mojem življenju zelo nizko frekvenco, da sem ves čas tako,
the low frequency make me slow.
me ta nizka frekvenca upočasni.
In the universe we call the low frequency the past.
V univerzumu, v tej nizki frekvenci rečemo preteklost.
The middle frequency present.
Srednja frekvenca je sedanjost,
And the higher frequency the future.
visoka frekvenca, višja frekvenca pa je prihodnost.
So according to which frequency I'm living in this life, it will be the next one.
Torej, glede na frekvenco, ki jo živim v tem življenju, bom živel naslednje življenje.
So if my frequency is heavy and, like dense, I will live here a dense reality.
Če je moja frekvenca zgoščena, upočasnjena, potem bom živel v skladu s tako frekvenco.
But if it's higher, I will go like boom,
Če pa je višja, je ta proces hiter,
very quick.
zelo hiter.
So that's why I recommend you to die laughing.
In zato vam svetujem, da umrete z nasmehom na ustih.
If you know that you are going to die, for example, just try to read some jokes and laugh a lot.
Če recimo veste, da vas čaka smrt, potem poslušajte vice, šale,
Because after that the trip goes
kajti
beyond.
po smrti se vaše potovanje nadaljuje na onkraj.
So when I arrive here to this point, I see the whole process from beyond.
In ko pridemo na to točko, vidim celoten proces iz točke onkraj.
Transcendence is when I realize about everything, I see everything like a movie, and I say, okay, now I understand what it means.
Transcendenca pravzaprav pomeni, kot da bi na čisto vse gledali kot nek film in si človek reče, aha, zdaj pa razumem, kaj se to pomeni.
So I'm ready to go to the fifth dimension,
In tako sem pripravljen, da grem na peto dimenzijo,
which is look into the whole process and create a new one.
v kateri pogledam na celoten proces in ustvarim novo.
So fifth dimension is the positive here.
Ta dimenzija je pozitivno tukaj,
So what's the negative?
kaj pa je tu negativno?
The sixth dimension.
Šesta dimenzija.
Sixth dimension is the creation of the shapes, the geometry.
Šesta dimenzija je dimenzija ustvarjanja oblik, geometrija.
The geometry, this is the seed of every shape in the world, every shape in the reality.
To je seme, sedež vseh oblik v realnosti.
It's the octahedron.
To je oktaeder,
Yeah, the 8 faces,
ki ima 8 faz.
which is the infinite. 8, 8,
In
8.
to je osmica, neskončno.
So the sixth dimension is the place where everything is created.
In šesta dimenzija je prostor, kjer je ustvarjeno vse.
The most famous picture of this is this.
Najbolj slavna slika, ki to ponazarja, je tale.
Here. Yeah. The Star of David
To je Davidova zvezda,
is the two pyramids going together and creating a vacuum.
predstavlja dve piramidi, ki v medsebojni povezavi ustvarjata vakuum.
So this point here is where all the shapes that we are thinking became real.
Na tej točki tukaj vse oblike, o katerih razmišljamo, postanejo resnične.
Is a dimension where we became creators of our own reality.
To je dimenzija, v kateri smo postali mi stvarniki naše lastne realnosti.
The fifth dimension is the dimension where we could see the whole reality and understand the creation.
Peta dimenzija je dimenzija, v kateri smo videli celo stvarnost in smo razumeli naše lastno ustvarjanje.
We used to call this the masculine,
Temu smo nekoč rekli moško
and this the feminine.
in temu žensko.
And both create the being.
Oba skupaj ustvarjata bitje,
Yeah? Usually,
bivanje.
in a physical way of seeing this,
Običajno,
biologically,
ko na fizični način pogledamo na to biološko,
we have the masculine here and the feminine like this.
imamo tu moško in tu žensko.
That's why biologically we have here the uterus,
In zato imamo biološko tukaj maternico,
yeah, and here of course this,
tukaj pa seveda tole.
yeah. The pyramid is a penis,
Piramida predstavlja penis
yeah, and testicles,
in moda,
and this is the ovaries
to pa so jajčniki
and the womb.
in maternica.
Yeah, so both together create a new being, which is the seventh dimension.
Oba skupaj torej ustvarita novo bitje, ki pa je sedma dimenzija.
Seventh dimension is the enlightenment.
Sedma dimenzija je razsvetljenje.
Yeah, the enlightenment is when I could put both attributes, feminine, masculine, positive and negative, and create just one from that.
Razsvetljenje pomeni, da vzamemo obe dimenziji, pozitivno, negativno, moško, žensko, in vse to združim samo v eni točki, v eno.
And when I get enlightened, I start to express myself in a different direction, different dimension.
In ko pridem do razsvetljenja, se začnem izražati skozi različne dimenzije,
That we call the torus.
ki jim rečemo torus.
This is the eighth dimension.
To je osma dimenzija.
The eighth dimension is when you could see, feel, be every time and space, every reality that we have created.
Osma dimenzija pomeni, da lahko zaznavaš, vidiš, si in bivaš v vseh dimenzijah, ki smo jih do sedaj ustvarili.
This is a very complicated dimension to go
In to je zelo kompleksna dimenzija.
because we don't even know how to handle with just one emotion here.
Že tukaj ne vemo, kako bi obvladali eno samo čustvo, kaj še da bi se napotili na osmo dimenzijo.
Imagine not only every emotion of every human,
Predstavljate si, da ne le čutite vsa čustva vseh človeških bitij,
but also every galaxy, every planet,
obenem
every
še
being on them.
vse galaksije, vse planete, vsa bitja.
So that's, I don't recommend you to go now.
Zato vam ne svetujem, da greste tja.
That's another schizophrenia feeling.
To je še en recept za schizofrenijo.
And when you put that all together, you go to the core again,
Ko vse to združite, greste spet v jedro.
which is the ninth dimension.
To pa je deveta dimenzija.
The ninth dimension is the divine.
Deveta dimenzija je božanska.
When you return to the middle point and say, I am all this.
Je božansko, ko se vrneš v to izhodiščno točko in rečeš, jaz sem vse to.
So you start to recognize that everything that you have lived and every people you met in every reality, they were only you.
Začneš se zavedati in spoznavati, da vsa bitja, ki so ti na poti prekrižala pot, vse, kar si doživel, vse to si ti sam.
And the divine is like a kid,
Božansko je kot mali otrok,
very funny kid,
zelo hecen otrok,
that used to say when they arrived to the ninth dimension, those beings used to say, again, let's do it again.
Kot mali otrok, ki pride na to točko, pa si reče, joj, vse to hočem spet doživeti.
Yeah? So that's why we are here.
In zato smo tukaj.
Once and again, because someone is getting fun.
Spet in spet in spet. Ker
And-
je nekdo, ki se zabava.
And it's ourselves.
In to smo mi.
Yeah? So this is like a movie or a game. If you don't have bad things, you will never learn new things.
To je kot film, kot igra. Če nimaš slabih stvari, se nikoli ne naučiš ničesa novega.
So that's why that's why the sixth dimension used to create new shapes, so they could confuse us.
Aha, zato je šesta dimenzija ustvarjala nove in nove oblike, da nas je zmedla.
Because at the moment we seems to have the very point, there's something that says, that's not the way.
V trenutku, ko se nam je zdelo, da smo zdaj nekaj razumeli, poštekali, se zgodi, ne, to ni bistvo.
Yeah, and what is that? Is this shape, the sixth dimension, which is the uterus.
In kaj je to? To je ta oblika na šesti dimenziji, ki je maternica.
What that's symbol to for us
Kaj nam
in
predstavlja
our
ta
religions?
v naših veroizpovedi?
Yeah, you know that?
Poznate to?
Huh? The devil?
To je hudič.
Yeah. The devil is the cow.
Hudič
It's every animal that has horns,
je krava oziroma vsaka žival, ki ima rogove,
that gives milk,
ki daje mleko,
that feed the new ones.
ki hrani nove.
It's not the bad, it's the one that feed the reality.
To je tista stvar, ki hrani realnost.
But also is the reality that confuses us.
Obenem pa je to realnost, ki nam povzroča zmedo.
Because it's the reality based on the survivor.
Kajti to je realnost, ki je osnovana na preživetju.
Eat, take care, be afraid of some, I don't know, some things that could happen, so stay at home.
Prehranjuj se, poskrbi zase, vzbuja se ti strah pred stvarmi, ki so okrog tebe in zato se držiš doma.
The protection of the mother.
To je zaščita matere.
So we start to create culturally that the mother and the cow, which was the first mother, are bad things.
In tako smo v naši kulturi začeli ustvarjati ta princip, to načelo. Krava in njen otrok, to je nekaj slabega.
That's why someday there was a man that said, if we have the Trinity with man, woman and child, let's take the woman and put the Holy Spirit.
In tako je nekoč živel nekdo, ki je rekel, pa če imamo v tem trojstvu očeta oziroma mater, ženo in otroka, pa dajmo to ženo, žensko, dati ven iz te svetega trojstva.
So, if you see, it's not doing about a joke, but usually it happens. When a man knows what to do, there's a woman saying, I wouldn't do like that.
Sicer bo res zvenelo kot šala, ali pa gre za zelo resno stvar. Kadarkoli vidite moškega, ki želi nekaj narediti, se najde ženska, ki reče, ne, mislim, da ne.
Usually they are right.
Običajno ima prav.
Because they have all the perspective of the creation.
Kajti ima vse perspektive stvarstva.
And men only have one.
Moški pa ima le eno.
Reproduce.
Reprodukcija.
And transcendence.
In transcendenca.
So they think just in sex.
In tako moški mislijo le na seks.
And to be remembered by that.
In da bi se jih človeštvo spomnilo potem.
That's biological.
To je stvar biologije.
Yeah, and the woman just tried to make the perfect environment so everything could happen.
Ženska pa se trudi ustvariti popolno okolje, kjer se lahko vse zgodi.
That's why we used to think one thing and they think in many.
In zato mi mislimo na eno stvar, ženske pa na več stvari.
But separated doesn't work.
Ampak ločenost ne deluje.
The first thing is try to put them all together.
Prva stvar je, da poskušimo vse združiti.
What we call the being.
Temu rečemo bitje.
And then we will realize that we only get in couples for a biological thing, but not spiritual thing.
Potem pa smo začeli spoznavati, da se ljudje združujejo v pare zaradi bioloških namenov, ne pa zaradi duhovnih.
Because when we start the spiritual path, we realize that the feminine and the masculine are within.
Kajti, ko smo stopili na duhovno pot, smo začeli spoznavati, da sta moško in žensko znotraj nas.
So, So this is what we call the Merkabah,
In tako temu rečemo Merkabah.
the structure of the movement of the universe, the main geometry.
To je struktura gibanja vesolja, glavna geometrija.
So we have three things here.
In tako imamo tu tri stvari.
One is the most important, which is the frequency.
Ena stvar, ki je najbolj pomembna, je frekvenca.
Here, the energy,
Tu je energija,
and here, the shape,
tu pa oblika
or matter.
ali materija.
Material. If you see, this three is the trinity of the reality. Every matter is made up with energy and made up with frequency.
In to je spet trojstvo. Vsaka materija je ustvarjena z energijo in frekvenco.
So, if we are in a material way of living, we have to know that we are conditioned, we have many conditionings from the energy and the frequency.
Če torej živimo v svetu materije, potem moramo vedeti, da na nas vpliva energija in frekvenca.
So the only way you can change your reality is by changing your energy and changing your frequency.
In je zato edini način, da spremenite svoj materialni svet, materialno, tako da spremenite energijo in spremenite frekvenco.
So these three things that we call the Father, the Mother, and the Son, or the Kid, is the Trinity that we all have within, and that in order to evolve, we have to put them all together to go farther in the evolution way.
In te tri stvari v vsakomur od nas predstavljajo trojstvo. Oče, mati in otrok, in če želimo iti naprej na svoji poti evolucije, moramo vse te tri stvari združiti.
So, for example, today, in this present that we have here, we are living now in a reality that is changing constantly. We used to believe this is the very important moment for humanity, but if you go in the past, every moment was important for humanity. They thought that they were the important ones.
In tako danes živimo v času, ko smo prepričani, da gre za najbolj pomemben trenutek v zgodovini človeštva, da živimo v najbolj posebnem času, ampak če pogledate v zgodovino, je bil vsak trenutek pomemben za človeštvo. In ljudje, ki so v tistem času živeli, so bili prav tako prepričani, da je to tisti čas, ki je najbolj pomemben.
And that's because we used to believe that we are the center of everything.
To pa zato, ker smo nekoč verjeli, bili prepričani, da smo mi središče vsega.
And we are, but not in that way.
Seveda smo, ampak ne na tak način.
We have a code within that says, you have to find yourself, you are the one.
Znotraj v sebi nosimo kodo, ki nam pravi, spoznati moraš sebe, ti si tisti.
So everyone that hears that used to say, so I'm important.
In vsak človek, ki je to slišal, si je rekel, kako sem jaz pomemben.
Or my culture is important, or my religion is important, or whatever it's me, it's important.
Ali moja kultura je pomembna, moja religija je pomembna, karkoli sem jaz, vse to je pomembno.
But because we are divided and separate from each other, from this perspective of the universe, we believe that the other one is not the center.
Ampak ker smo ločeni od sebe, od to vrste perspektive univerzuma, verjamemo, da je tisti drugi ločen od mene, da je on neko drugo, da ni središče.
So that's one of the things that we are working on, and every life and every reality we have to deal with it, which is the ego.
In to je ena od stvari, s katero se soočamo in jo razrešujemo iz življenja v življenje, iz stvarnosti v stvarnost, to pa je naš ego.
Ego is like something very weird, because we all need the ego, but not much.
Ego je nekaj zelo čudnega, kajti mi vsi potrebujemo ego, ampak ne preveč.
Yeah, so why we need ego? Because in Latin, ego means I am.
Zakaj potrebujemo ego? V latinščini namreč ta beseda pomeni jaz sem.
So, for example, in Christianity, we used to say, we are nothing, just Jesus is.
V krščanstvu, na primer, govorimo, jaz nisem nič, samo Jezus je pomemben.
Because when he was teaching, he used to say, I am the light, I am the path, I am, but wasn't he. It was the I am.
Kaj ti, ko je učil, je poučeval in izgovarjal besede, jaz sem luč, jaz sem pot, ampak ni šlo za njega osebno, ampak za načelo jaz sem.
So this misunderstood concept brought us all to believe that being ourselves is bad.
In ta napačno razumljen koncept nas je vse popeljal v koncept, kjer je, da sem to, kar sem, nekaj slabega.
But if we have a sphere,
Če pa imamo krog,
and this is the center, the core of everything,
to pa je središče, jedro vsega.
I am here.
Jaz sem tukaj,
Yeah, I'm just a small spot, dot in the sphere.
jaz sem samo drobna točka na tem krogu.
I am just a projection from the core of the universe.
Sem samo projekcija iz središča univerzuma.
So, what is the best way to go to the core?
Kakšen je najboljši način, da gremo v jedro?
There are two ways.
Obstajata dve poti.
One is longer, the other one is short.
Ena je daljša, druga je kratka.
What do you think?
Kaj mislite?
In a sphere. If I decide to be myself, to be I am, so there is only one way I can go.
Če se odločim biti to, kar sem, da bom jaz sem, ki sem, imam samo eno možno pot.
Like here. Yeah? So, this way.
To je ta pot.
Just one line. Here. I am.
Samo ena črta, jaz sem.
I don't care what happened around, just me.
Ni mi mar, kaj se dogaja kot mene, samo jaz sem tu.
Yeah? But not just me and I don't care
Ampak ne
about
samo,
anything.
jaz sem, vse drugo pa mi nič ni mar.
Is I am. So, being myself, I help everyone.
Ampak to pomeni, jaz sem in ker sem to, kar sem, obenem pomagam vsem drugim.
And there is another way, which is also good,
Obstaja pa še ena pot, še en način, ki je prav tako dober,
but it's the way in which I say, I would like to be like him first.
ampak to je pot, v kateri rečem, najprej želim biti tak, kot je on.
And then another one, and go from one religion to other, to one culture to other.
In potem najdem spet naslednji korak in potujem od ene religije v drugo, iz ene kulture v drugo.
Which is like this.
To pa je taka pot.
Yeah, so this is spiral.
To je spirala.
So we all usually go that way
Vsi gremo običajno po tej poti,
because it's fun.
ker je zabavna.
Yeah. The other way is just for those that said, okay, if I don't go straight from myself, I won't help anyone.
Drugi način, drugi pogled pa je, da ko si nekdo reče, dobro, če grem neposredno vase v to razumevanje, potem ne bom nikomor pomagal.
But they are usually the people that did all this path and they know how to come back. So they just go straight.
Ampak to so običajno tisti ljudje, ki so prešli skozi vso to pot in vedo točno, kako priti nazaj in zato gredo direktno proti središču.
So if everyone in the planet start to take care of themselves,
Torej, če vsak človek na tem planetu začne skrbeti zase,
but not from the ego, but from the ego sum,
ne iz točke ega, ampak iz točke ego sum,
which is I am.
kar pomeni jaz sem.
Yeah? So everyone would reach the core.
Bi vsi prišli do jedra.
Yeah? So we have the whole network working.
In tako začne delovati celotna mreža.
When we have this, usually we have this problem. Let's draw it like this. That when we have a lot of people here,
Običajno pa imamo problem, ko imamo tu veliko ljudi,
trying to live their lives and trying to understand who they are.
ki se trudijo živeti svoje življenje, razumeti, kdo sem.
And they say, I am, whatever.
Si rečejo, jaz sem, kako že.
But this one just realized what really means I am.
Ta tukaj pa je prišel do spoznanja, kaj res pomeni jaz sem.
So when he realized it, he get enlightened.
Ko to spozna, pride do razsvetljenja.
We used to call it an enlightened master or something like that.
Njim smo nekoč rekli razsvetljeni mojster ali nekaj podobnega.
And we used to see him with all this light above.
In tako smo videli tega človeka z vso to svetlobo nad njim.
So we used to say, if we follow him, so we are going back to the light.
In smo si rekli, če bomo le sledili njemu, bomo prišli nazaj v svetlobo.
So everyone, instead of being centered on themselves, they start to do like this.
In namesto, da bi se vsi osredotočili na se, začnejo delati tole.
What shape is that?
Kaj pa je ta oblika?
A pyramid.
Piramida.
So a pyramidal system means that we are not ready to connect with ourselves, so we need the purpose of other ones, yeah, to think that in that way we are going to be enlightened.
Sistem piramid pomeni, da še nismo pripravljeni živeti svoj jaz, ampak da potrebujemo sistem, v katerem sledimo drugemu.
We used to call this to be tied to someone, which in Latin it is religo.
In temu smo nekoč rekli, da sem navezan, povezan z nekom drugim. V latinščini je to religo.
So religion is a way that is not spiritual. It's just a path to go through someone.
Religija je torej način, ki ni duhoven, je le pot, da greš preko nekoga drugega.
So we usually think that, for example, Jesus, according to the Christianity, Jesus is a very enlightened being, yeah, opening the door for us in the heaven.
In tako smo denimo v krščanstvu prepričani, da je Jezus posebno bitje, ki nam bo odprlo vrata v nebeško kraljestvo.
But imagine a being being tied by thousands of people saying, why me? Yeah?
Predstavljajte si zdaj eno samo bitje, ki ima na tisoče navezanih ljudi, ki govorijo, zakaj jaz?
So someday he will say, leave me alone.
Nekega dne bo on rekel, zakaj jaz, in izgovoril, pa pustite me že na miru.
Because we are out of our center, so we don't go to the core. We go up and we look the light through others.
Ker nismo v svojem središču, gremo navzgor, oziramo se po svetlobi in gledamo druge.
But remember, a being that realizes that he knows that light is not the path, it's within.
Ampak, spomnite se, človek, ki pride do tega zavedanja, ve, da svetloba ni tam zgoraj, ampak da je svetloba znotraj.
So that's why the most light he got, the most suffer he received.
In zato več svetlobe, kot je dobil, več trpljenja je dobil.
Because this is a torus.
Kajti to je torus.
Everything goes to the center, doesn't go up.
Vse gre v središče, ne gre navzgor.
So incredibly, the only way to connect with the spirit is with your genitals.
In zato je osupljivo, da je edini način, da se povežeš s svojim duhom preko genitalij.
That's why usually you see enlightened men.
In zato pogosto vidite razsvetljene moške.
Why? Because the hypophysis, which is the gland that controls the whole body, which is here in the center.
Zakaj? Zato, ker žleza, hipofiza, ki usmerja delovanje celega telesa,
is the gland that controls especially the genital glands.
je žleza, ki še posebej nadzira delovanje spolnih žlez.
Because we have to remember that the only way this goes up is by the energy generated down.
In zato se moramo spomniti na to, da edini način, da gre ta spirala navzgor, je z energijo, ki pa jo vidimo spodaj.
That's why the 9 levels of consciousness that in our body we call chakras
In zato je 9 ravni zavesti, ki jim v našem telesu rečemo čakre,
are separated, trying to work each one of them on a special process to help the whole being.
Zato so sicer v telesu med seboj ločene, ampak poskušajo ustvariti celostno delovanje celotnega bitja.
Which is the only way to go to the center is by getting unite both part to the center. So the very below and the very above all together at the same distance to the core, which is the heart.
Kar pomeni, da združimo obe skrajni točki in vse vmes istočasno v isti središčni točki, to pa je srce.
So that's why the only way to go up is by being very root here on earth.
In zato je edini način, da se dvignemo, način, kjer smo obenem zelo globoko ukoreninjeni tukaj na zemlji.
That's why we used to see the masters as humans.
In zato smo nekoč videli mojstre kot ljudi.
But the most perfect masters are the trees.
Ampak najbolj popolni mojstri so drevesa.
Mostly because they don't talk.
Večinoma zato, ker ne govorijo.
They are just example.
So samo zgled.
They don't have any theory like I have.
Nimajo nobenih teorij, kot jih zdaj navajam jaz.
They just show that it works.
Samo pokažejo nam, da stvar deluje.
They are centered where they are.
So osredotočeni, kjer pač so.
Deep roots to take the minerals.
Z globokimi koreninami, da vase dobijo minerale.
With the branches take the light in, not
Z
there.
vejami, preko katerih svetlobo srkajo vase.
And create the own meal. Yeah, their own meal. They don't need anything from outside. They just create their own meal.
V sebi ustvarijo svoj lasten obrok, ne potrebujejo ničesar, nobene hrane izven sebe.
And when they don't need, they just give it away by free.
In ko nečesa ne potrebujejo, to mirno razdajajo brezplačno.
That's receive and give in the perfect way, being centered in the present.
In tu imamo sprejemanje in dajanje na najbolj popoln način zgolj svojo prisotnostjo.
That's why sometimes when we get in the spiritual way, we forgot that spirit creates the biology to understand the spiritual way.
In zato včasih, ko stopimo na duhovno pot, pozabimo, da je duh tisti, ki je ustvaril biologijo, to telo, da lahko izkusimo in pridemo do svojih spoznanj.
Biology is not here below. It's the whole process expressed in shapes.
Biologija ni nekje tukaj spodaj, ampak je celoten proces ustvarjen z oblikami.
So that's why when we say we have to be present in ourselves, it's not just to be present here in this moment. It's just to be realizing that all the reality that exists is just an expression of who I am.
In zato, ko rečemo, bodi tukaj prisoten, ne pomeni samo, da si tu s svojo prisotnostjo in zavestjo, ampak da se zavedaš, da vse, kar si s svojimi izrazom, je izraz stvarstva.
So that's why the only way to go to the core is by being myself.
In zato je edini način, da pridem v jedro, da sem jaz sam, to, kar sem.
And imagine that for example, here we have the Jews
In predstavljati si, da nimo, da imamo tukaj Žide,
and the Muslims,
tukaj muslimane,
yeah? And suddenly, for some reason, they all realize who they are.
in potem kar naenkrat iz nekega razloga vsi spoznajo, kdo so.
And from the Islam, they go to the center.
In iz islama gredo v središče.
And from the Judaism, also go to the center.
In iz judaizma in židovske vere grejo prav tako v središče.
And as closer I get to myself, closer I see my enemies.
In bližje, kot pridem do sebe, bližje prepoznavam svoje sovražnike.
For sure, the main thing we think is, what is he doing here?
In
if this is heaven.
je edina stvar, ki si jo mislim, pa kaj pa on dela zdaj tukaj.
Yeah, but as closer we get, we start to realize that the shapes are the same.
Ampak vse bližje, kot prihajamo, bolj se začnemo zavedati, da so oblike pravzaprav eno in isto.
And that the only way we can go to the main core is by joining all the shapes that we had created.
In da je edini način, da pridemo do tega središča, ta, da združimo vse, kar smo ustvarili v različnih religijah.
Yeah, you see it?
Vidite to?
Huh? So everything starts to be together
Vse se povezuje in združuje
in the core.
v jedru.
Yeah, so that's why there's no need not to have religion, not to have anything, to be yourself.
In zato ni nobene potrebe, da bi imel religijo ali karkoli drugega, da bi bil to, kar si.
You can go to the main core through many ways,
V osnovno jedro greš lahko preko različnih poti,
even through money.
tudi preko denarja.
There are many different ways to get to the core.
Veliko je različnih načinov, da prideš v to jedro.
But there is only one thing that we should not do
Ampak
here.
samo ena stvar je tista, ki je ne bi smeli narediti tukaj.
Judge the other's ways.
To pa je, da obsojamo pot in način drugega.
Because when we start to do that, we have no more that focus on ourselves.
Kajti, ko začnemo delati to, nimamo več fokusa v središčenosti nase.
We start to look what they are doing.
Ampak začnemo gledati, kaj delajo drugi.
So I start to slow down my path towards the core.
In tako se moja pot proti središču, proti jedru počasni.
Yeah, this is when I have the whole picture, yeah, which is the symbol here.
Tu pa imam celotno sliko, to je ta simbol na ekranu.
And you see, this symbol is everything. So you have the positive and the negative.
In kot vidite, je ta simbol vse, ima pozitivno, ima negativno.
Are you related to the Illuminati, for example, or Masonry?
Poznate
Freemasons?
recimo iluminate, ste slišali za proste masone,
They have the one eye.
ki imajo za svoj simbol eno oko.
But we usually do a bad reading of it because we used to judge from our perspectives.
Ampak običajno imamo do tega odpor, zato ker na druge stvari gledamo z obsodbo iz svojega gledišča.
That's why I said, let's try to put out everything that we believe. So that's how you see how the womb, the uterus, is a devil, and the feminine, and the sixth dimension, and just a triangle.
In zato sem rekel, da se potrudimo, da bi opustili čisto vse, vsa prejšnja spoznanja, če se spomnite na 6. dimenzijo, kjer je ženska maternica v podobi hudiča.
That the negative is not bad.
In tako spoznamo, da negativno ni slabo,
Positive is not good.
pozitivno ni dobro.
For the universe, it doesn't matter if you are good or bad.
Za univerzumu ni mar, ali ste dobri, ali ste slabi.
What the universe matter is that you realize why did you choose this path.
Univerzumu je pomembno le to, da spoznate, zakaj ste si izbrali to pot.
And which ways are you going to take to return to the center.
In po kateri poti se boste napotili nazaj v središče.
The universe don't judge, only offer options.
Univerzum ne obsoja, ne sodi, samo ponuja različne možnosti.
So, to see that, we have this Okay. This is the main shape of the universe, which is the cube.
Da bi to videli, si lahko pomagamo s to podobo kocke, ki predstavlja glavno obliko univerzuma.
Oops. Why is the cube? Because we have this. Yeah, you see that?
Vidite zdaj kocko.
In 4 dimensions. In 3 dimensions, we have the main 4 dimensions here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have the other dimensions there, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and in the center we have the 9 and the 0.
Zdaj vse dimenzije in vse stranice, najprej prve 4, potem naslednje 4, potem pa na središčni točki nična točka.
So those are the main structure of the reality. That's all that exists in the universe, just this shape.
Ta oblika predstavlja edino strukturo, edino obliko, ki obstaja v univerzumu.
From the 0, it creates the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4.
Iz nične točke ustvari najprej enico, potem dvojko, trojko in štirico.
Opposite to it, the 5, 6, 7, 8.
Nasproti teh točk so seveda 5, 6, 7 in 8.
And the 9 connect them all.
Deveta pa jih povezuje med seboj.
Yeah? So, if you take this shape in just 2 dimensions, you cut a slice of it.
Če vzamete zdaj to dimenzijo in na njo pogledate v tej realnosti, kot da bi naredili prerez,
you will have this,
vidite tole,
which is an hexagon.
osmerokotnik.
This hexagon here is very important because every thing that we know rises from here.
Ta oktaeder je lik, ki je najbolj pomemben, ker iz njega izvira vse, kar poznamo.
Yeah, everything appears from that shape.
Vse se
As you've seen.
poraja iz te oblike.
Yeah, even the cross.
Celo križ.
Yeah, everything.
Čisto
Everything is
vse.
there.
Vse vsebuje.
That's the main shape of everything in the universe.
To je glavna oblika vsega v univerzumu.
So every being in the universe is only one being that goes over here, and see a different perspective from the same shape.
Vsako bitje v univerzumu je bitje, ki gre na to točko, pa na to točko in samo pogleda na isto obliko z drugačno perspektivo.
That's why in some cases, the one that goes here see a reflection of colors and they see a moon. Others see a sun, others see a cross, others see the star. Shapes from only one.
In zato nekdo, ki gre na eno točko, iz te cele slike vidi luno, nekdo drug iz druge točke vidi sonce, nekdo tretji vidi križ, nekdo četrti spet nekaj drugega. Gre pa zgolj samo za različne oblike ene in iste stvari.
So this is the resume of the reality of the whole universe.
To je torej rezime, povzetek celotne stvarnosti celega vesolja.
We call this the matrix,
In temu rečemo matrica.
the main core of the matrix.
Glavno jedro matrice.
Is the main shape that shows us that there is no center.
To je glavna oblika, ki nam pokaže, da ni nobenega središča.
That every point is the same, that every being is the same being.
Da je vsaka točka enaka, da je vsako bitje enako drugemu.
So whatever you do, you are just experiencing a part of this shape.
Ne glede na to, kaj naredite, samo izkušate en košček, en delček te oblike.
So at the moment, this only being breathe and express in 9 dimensions by breathing 3 times, which is 12.
V trenutku, ko to bitje torej z vdihom in izdihom ustvari tih 9 dimenzij, oziroma 3-krat naredi ta vdih, s tem dobimo številko 12.
The positive, the negative, and the neutral.
Se ustvari pozitivno, negativno in neutralno.
Yeah. Breathe and express.
Vdih in izraz.
So everything in the universe divides itself in 12 parts.
In tako se v vesolju vse razdeli na 12 delov.
From the 3 main beings.
Iz 3 glavnih bitij.
The frequency, the spirit.
Frekvenca, to je duh.
The energy, the soul.
Energija, duša.
And the matter, which is the body.
In materija, to pa je telo.
So that being recognizes itself as the universe.
To bitje se torej prepozna kot univerzum.
And this main shape creates here in the perspective the main eye, which I was saying before.
In ta glavna oblika torej ustvari obliko očesa, ki sem jo prej razložil.
An eye inside a triangle.
To je oko znotraj trikotnika.
Also, you know that. Really?
Poznate, mar ne?
What does it mean? Is God
Kaj pomeni?
the main self?
To je Bog, to je glavni jaz, to kar sem.
Yeah? So, to try to heal some things, because if you are reading too much about what is going on in these moments and the future of humanity,
In če bi želeli ozdraviti določene stvari, ker preveč beremo o tem, kaj se bo zgodilo v prihodnosti s človeštvom,
you for sure will see that the people that use this symbol is controlling us.
boste zagotovo videli, da ljudje, ki uporabljajo ta simbol, so tisti, ki nas nadzirajo.
Have you heard that?
Ste že slišali za to?
Yeah? Okay, so the thing is that sometimes we just judge these kind of things according to our present, but there is much more.
Bistveno pa je razumeti, da na take stvari gledamo z obsodbo iz tega, kjer se nahajamo mi zdaj v tem trenutku, ampak slika je dosti širša.
Just to tell a little bit of this. This symbol was also important in the ages of Atlantis.
Samo nekaj kratkih besed o tem. Ta simbol je bil prav tako pomemben v dobi Atlantide.
The main civilization that created all others.
To je bila glavna civilizacija, ki je ustvarjala vse druge.
So, what they did, they brought the main symbols of the universe and just draw it on the walls.
Kaj so naredili? Potegnili so glavne simbole univerzuma in jih naslikali na stenah.
But the first thing that they were... Okay. The first things that they did, because they had this connection with the whole universe. I was playing later a little bit of that. They didn't draw the symbols, they built the symbols.
In ker so bili povezani s celotnim univerzumom, je prva stvar, ki so naredili, pravzaprav ne bila slikanje teh podob, ampak s temi simboli so gradili cele zgradbe.
The ancient civilizations has the information of the whole universe, so that's why they didn't use the symbols to represent what they knew. They just built the symbols as pyramids, as circles of stones.
Starodavne civilizacije so imeli pogled na razumevanje celotnega ustroja vesolja in zato niso uporabljali le nekih simbolov, ampak so gradile na osnovi teh spoznanj, piramide ali kamnite kroge in podobno.
So what they thought is the knowledge is only catch by the experience, not by reading.
In menili so, da je modrost in spoznanje možno le na osnovi izkušnje.
So you have to experience within the geometry to understand the whole. That's why they created the pyramids.
Verjeli so, da moraš imeti izkušnjo znotraj te geometrije, da bi razumel celoto. In zato so denimo gradili piramide.
So when we start to forget how to use the pyramids, we use the symbols.
Ko smo začeli pozabljati, kako smo nekoč uporabljali piramide, smo začeli uporabljati simbole.
And one of the symbols was this.
In to je bil eden od teh simbolov.
Everything is a trinity, and we are the self that sees it all.
To je predstava tega, da vse je trojstvo, mi pa smo jaz, ki vidi vse.
So many thousands of years, this symbol was the main symbol of those who were looking within.
In tako je bil na tisoče let ta simbol tistih, ki so gledali navznoter.
Then became the main religions that killed them all.
Potem pa so se pojavile glavne religije, ki so pobile vse te ljudi.
And every symbol that they had became the devil.
In vsak simbol, ki so ga imeli, je postal hudič.
So they start to blame these symbols and prohibit it.
In tako so začeli krivdo valiti na te simbole in so jih prepovedali.
But the architectures and artists weren't much religious.
Ampak arhitekti in umetniki niso bili zelo verski, religiozni, verni.
Because the only universities to study about how to build, how to understand the world were in Egypt or Babylonia.
Kajti edine univerze, kjer si se lahko naučil, kako ustvarjati, kako graditi, so se nahajale v Egiptu in v Babilonu.
So they took all the information from there and put it on the cathedrals.
In tako so
Hidden.
uporabili vse to znanje iz teh univerz in to znanje uporabljali pri gradnji katedral.
The architectures we call the masons.
In to so arhitekti, ki jim rečemo zidarji.
So they built the new pyramids, what we call cathedrals.
Gradili so nove piramide, ki jim rečemo katedrale.
So after that, a few of them said, we don't want to be hidden anymore, and we want to speak about what we know.
In potem se jih je nekaj zbralo nekoliko kasneje in rekli so, ne želimo več delati prikrito, želimo jasno povedati, kakšne misli imamo.
So the Vatican killed them all.
In spet se jih je Vatikan znebil in jih vse pobil.
And a few of them start to be very hidden northern Italy.
Le peščica je še ostala in živela zelo skrito na severu Italije.
Using these symbols and in Italian language calling themselves the enlightened ones.
Ta simbol ste že videli. V italijanskem jeziku se ti ljudje imenujejo razsvetljenci.
Which is the Illuminati.
Kar pomeni iluminati.
So what they created, they said, okay, there is a book.
In kaj so ustvarili? Rekli so, dobro, obstaja knjiga,
Which in Greek is Biblion.
ki je v grščini Biblion.
The book of knowledge.
To je knjiga modrosti, knjiga znanja.
So they created another book.
In tako so ustvarili drugo knjigo.
Because they said, this is a lie.
Ker so rekli,
This is not the complete truth.
ta knjiga je laž in ne predstavlja popolne resnice.
So they untie themselves from religion
In tako so se razvezali od religije
and create the conscious, which we call science.
in ustvarili zavestno, oziroma tisto, čemu rečemo znanost.
Conscience, science.
Znanost, v angleškem jeziku je to zelo
And they create,
znanost.
and they create a new book, which the name is The Book with One Eye,
In so ustvarili novo knjigo, ki rečemo knjiga z enim očesom.
which in Greek is Encyclopedia.
V grščini to pomeni enciklopedija.
So we all have a Bible and an encyclopedia in the same in the same place.
Vsi imamo
Now,
na isti polici Biblijo pa enciklopedijo.
So what they did, they create our world. They gave us freedom.
In kaj
Of
so
thinking.
naredili? Ustvarili so naš svet in nam dali svobodo mišljenja.
But suddenly, in the revolutions, social revolutions, French revolutions, industrial revolution, they realized something.
Ampak kar naenkrat, po vseh revolucijah v človeštvu, takole.
And that thousands of people, if they don't have the religion here, they put the king or the president here.
Če družba, recimo na tisočih ljudi, nima neke religije, potem na to točko postavi denimo kralja ali kakšnega drugega vladarja.
Because this book only works if the being is willing to know and discover who him is.
Kajti ta knjiga lahko deluje samo takrat, če je nekdo sam pripravljen in željan spoznati, kdo je.
So they realized people were so blind and so difficult to handle with knowledge.
Spoznali so, kako zelo slepi so ljudje in kako zelo težko jih je razsvetliti znanosti.
That a few of them said, okay, let's organize it to control them all.
Da se je spet peščica odločila, pa dobro, potem se pa organizirajmo in nadzirajmo vse ljudi.
And to guide them where to go.
In jih usmerjajmo, kam naj gredo.
But they created the same system as the religion.
Ampak ustvarili so popolnoma isti sistem, kot ga je ustvarila religija.
We used to call it Republika or Demokratia,
Temu smo nekoč rekli republika ali demokracija,
which is a sensation of freedom
kar je nek občutek, kaj je svoboda,
in which we decide who is going to be our next king for the 4 years.
kjer se bomo zdaj mi odločili, kdo bo naslednje 4 leta naš kralj.
So the main problem here is that nobody in history wanted to help one by one to connect with the self.
Problem pa je v tem, da v zgodovini nihče ni želel pomagati posameznikom, enemu za drugim, da bi se povezali ljudje navznoter s seboj.
The only way to do that is education.
In edini način do tega je zdaj izobraževanje.
But it's very difficult when everyone knows what to do.
Ampak to je zelo težko, če vsakdo ve, kaj mora delati.
Because that means that this guy is dead.
Kaj ti to pomeni, da je tale tukaj skoraj mrtev.
So that's why we are living right now in a process in which this process we are living now is like something that others created for us.
In zato zdaj živimo v nekem procesu, ki so ga drugi ustvarili za nas.
But because we were so concerned about other things that we forgot that we have to do it by ourselves.
Ampak, ker smo imeli toliko opravka z vsemi drugimi stvarmi, smo preprosto pozabili, da moramo to narediti sami.
So are these people bad people, or we are just irresponsible with ourselves?
Torej, ali so ti ljudje zdaj slabi ljudje, ali smo mi neodgovorni do sebe?
Remember that positive and negative. The negative appears just when we forget that we are the center.
Spomnite se, pozitivno in negativno. Negativno se pojavi samo v trenutku, ko pozabimo, da smo središče, da smo v središču.
Yeah. So, to keep going with this,
Da se spet vrnem k temu znaku.
imagine that here, this spot here is the science,
Predstavljajte si, da je ta točka tukaj znanost.
and this here is the religion.
To tukaj je religija.
Both are at the same distance from the core.
Obe točki sta enako oddaljeni od središča.
This is like big stuff, but we can put here a couple, husband and wife.
To so recimo velika načela, lahko pa na isti točki nasproti postavimo moža in ženo.
Father and son,
Oče, sin,
yeah, the earth and Mars.
Zemlja in Mars.
So there are many opposites that are complementary in this shape.
V tej obliki imamo veliko komplementarnih nasprotij.
But they are also the core, so they start to create their own reality.
Ampak tudi vse te točke so svoje lastno jedro in začnejo ustvarjati svojo lastno realnost.
We call this, well, I call this the mythos of the universe.
In temu rečem, oziroma jaz temu rečem mitoza vesolja.
You know what's mitosis?
Veste, kaj je to?
Yeah, the division of the cells.
To je delitev celic.
Yeah, so the science said, I don't want to be with you anymore, I will be the center.
Znanost reče, s tabo religija se ne bom več družil, ustvaril bom svoje lastno vesolje.
So they create a new one.
In tako ustvarijo novo sliko.
Yeah, that's mitosis. Boop.
To je torej delitev.
And there is the other one that creates also another one.
Tu imamo spet eno točko, ki spet ustvari svoje.
And the religion also says, okay, I go out to do my own story.
Tudi religija si reče, dobro, tudi jaz izstopam, grem v svojo zgodbo.
And this one too. Sorry. And this one too.
Enako se zgodi tudi tukaj.
And this one. You know what's that?
Pa veste, kaj je to?
The flower of life.
Roža življenja.
Yeah? So this is constantly evolving. So every time that a new being appears here, there is another one.
In ta evolucija poteka ves čas. Ko se tu pojavi eno bitje, se proces spet širi.
So this shape teaches that we are all the center.
Ta oblika nas torej uči, da smo čisto vsi svoje središče.
There was never and never will be a center in the universe.
Nikoli in nikdar v univerzumu ni bilo in ne bo središča.
We call this the matrix.
Temu pravimo matrica.
Matrix comes from the Latin word, which means mother
Matrica je beseda, ki izvira iz latinščine in pomeni mati
or womb.
ali pa maternica.
So the universe is a feminine, is a mother
Univerzum je torej ženski, je mati,
that creates every day new lives, new experiences.
ki vsak dan ustvarja nova življenja, nove izkušnje.
And there is one thing that maybe make us upset about this.
In ena stvar pa je, ki nas ob tem morda lahko razžalosti.
Which is, there's no purpose.
To pa je, da namena pravzaprav ni.
Because there's nowhere to go.
Kajti nikamor ni, kamor bi lahko šli.
Because everywhere we go, we are in the center.
Kajti kamorkoli že bomo šli, še vedno bomo v središču.
So there is no direction.
In zato ni nobene smeri.
There's no up, below.
Nič ni, kar bi bilo navzgor, nič ni, kar bi bilo navzdol.
This go straight, all around, and within and outside.
Torej nič ni zgoraj, nič ni spodaj. To je vse proces, ki gre istočasno v vse smeri.
And every one of these we call an atom.
In vsem tem točkam rečemo atom.
So the whole universe is connected by this network from a quantum tiny shape.
Torej celoten univerzum povezan s te ene drobne kvantne oblike.
And they are all the main core of the universe.
In vse te pike so glavno jedro univerzuma.
That's why if you want to just say, what's the universe?
In zato, če želite vprašati, kaj je pravzaprav univerzum,
Is this.
je to,
Just this.
samo to.
Projected in many, many, many of them.
To projecirano v neskončno število teh istih pik.
So every being that starts to exist in the universe
Vsako bitje, ki torej začne obstajati v univerzumu,
they start to divide from the 1 to 6 other points, which we call the 7 chakras.
začne se deliti iz enega v še 6 drugih točk in vsemu temu rečemo 7 čakr.
And sometimes we go up with the chakras,
In včasih gremo s čakrami navzgor,
yeah, different chakras.
to so različne čakre,
And there are another ones that express their chakras in spheres,
potem pa so še drugi pogledi na čakre, ki se izražajo preko krogov
or in spirals.
ali pa v spiralah.
Yeah, every being in the universe uses the same network.
Vsa
The
bitja v
grid.
univerzumu uporabljajo isto mrežo.
Yeah, and where is the masculine on this womb of the universe?
Kje pa je v tej maternici univerzuma moški del?
The masculine is every line.
Moški del predstavljajo vse črte.
The lines that says, okay, I choose to go through this path.
Črte, ki rečejo dobro, zdaj želim iti po tej poti.
That's the masculine part of the universe.
To je moški del univerzuma.
The choice.
Izbira.
We used to call the choice free will.
Izbiri smo nekoč rekli svobodna volja.
Do you think you have free will?
Mislite, da imate svobodno voljo?
Look at this.
Poglejte zdaj vse to.
The only free will you have is to decide if I go here, here or there.
Edina svobodna volja, ki jo imate, je, da se odločim, ali grem levo, po tej poti ali po tej.
And according to my frequency, if I go here, there or there, in high frequency, low frequency or middle frequency.
In se odločam, po kateri frekvenci bom šel, po srednji, nizki ali po visoki.
The first frequency that exists in the universe is the high frequency.
Prva frekvenca, ki je obstajala v univerzumu, je visoka frekvenca.
Very high.
Zelo visoka.
Yeah? Oh, light. So, very, very high frequency. We call that the future.
Ta visoka frekvenca je tisto, čemu rečemo prihodnost.
So the first time that exists in the universe is the future.
Prvi čas, ki je obstajal v univerzumu, je prihodnost.
Because everything is a projection from what I dream, what I will do.
Kajti čisto vse je projekcija mojih sanj, tega, kar želim in kar nameravam narediti.
Then became the present, which is living that dream.
Potem je nastala sedanjost, ki pomeni, da živim te sanje.
And then, after all, the past,
Po vsem tem pa sledi preteklost.
which is the experience I already have about living it.
To pa so izkušnje, ki jih imam, ko sem nekaj že doživel.
So after that first experience, I always think that the past is behind.
In po tej prvi izkušnji mislim ves čas, da je preteklost nekje za menoj.
When in reality it's ahead.
Ko pa je v realnosti pred menoj.
Because someday I will find the past again
Kajti nekega dne spet najdem
in
preteklost.
this circle.
V tem krogu.
That's why when we think that we end up with something in our lives, suddenly that person that we don't want to know anything more about, there he is.
In zato se nam zgodi, da ko imamo za seboj zgodbo z neko osebo, pa že ne želimo več ne videti, ne slišati o tem človeku, se kar na lepem spet pojavi pred nami.
And we used to bring the responsibilities to someone outside, like God or whoever. So that's why we say, why it happens to me if I'm good?
Odgovornost pa smo prelagali na nekaj izven nas, na Boga recimo. In zato si ves čas postavljamo vprašanje, pa zakaj se to dogaja meni, ko pa sem vendar dober človek.
So the answer of the universe is, that's why, because you are too good that I want to know how can you deal with it.
In odgovor univerzuma je ravno zato, ker si tako zelo dober, da bi rad videl, kako se boš zdaj soočil s tem.
So this process of the circle, this cycle we are living every time, is a cycle that we had created and we had projected from our main point.
Ta proces kroga, ki ga torej doživljamo, ki ga živimo, je tisto, kar smo projecirali iz izhodiščne točke.
But the universe is always evolving, always changing, so that's why the universe wants you to move, not to be always in the same point.
Ampak univerzum se nenehno razvija, nenehno spreminja in zato želi, da tudi vi ne ostanete ves čas na isti točki.
That's why the universe creates uncomfortable situations so we can move away.
In zato univerzum ustvarja neprijetne, neudobne situacije, zato da se lahko premaknemo ven iz njih.
Yeah? So imagine that you are here and you say, I'm so happy here, and it could be forever.
Kar predstavljajte si, da pridete zdaj v neko točko in rečete, tu sem tako srečen, tu bi lahko ostal za vekomaj.
So that's when the universe says,
In tole vam reče potem univerzum.
so I will send something to him.
In si misli, nekaj mu bom rekel.
And what is that something?
Kaj pa je to nekaj?
That is all the energies and emotions that I have that moves the wheel start to move again.
To pa pomeni, da vse energije, vsa čustva, ki jih imam, ki poganjajo kolesje, moje kolo, se spet spravijo v gibanje.
Imagine that we are like a train with many wheels.
Predstavljajte si, da smo kot vlak, ki ima veliko vagonov.
And you have the tracks, yeah, to go.
Pa imamo tirnice.
But you decide to be always in the same side scene, and never move.
Ampak vi se odločite, da boste vedno obsedeli na istem sedežu, gledali isto stvar in se nikoli ne boste premaknili.
So someday your wheels will be stuck with ferrum, rust.
Ja. In tako bo
ferrum,
nekega dne začelo vse rjaveti.
Okay, so oxido. Yeah. So oxidation. So what happened there? Those wheels are our chakras. Every wheel here is a chakra.
Kaj se zgodi? Vse to kolesje, tudi vsak krog na tej sliki predstavlja naše čakre.
In Sanskrit, chakra means wheel.
V sanskritu namreč čakra pomeni kolo.
So if all the wheels stop,
če se vse to kolesje zaustavi,
you are not able to move forward.
Se ne moreš več premakniti naprej.
So that's when we have emotional problems in our lives.
In takrat imamo v našem življenju čustvene probleme.
Because maybe there are 3 wheels that are willing to move, but there is another one that is so stuck that doesn't allow the other ones to move.
Ker imamo morda 3 kolesa, ki se želijo premikati, potem pa imamo eno kolo, ki je tako zagozdeno, da ne omogoča gibanje vsem ostalim.
So you have to work on all the wheels to start moving the train.
In zato morate zagotoviti dobro delovanje vseh kolesov, da lahko poženete svoj vlak.
And maybe one here in the head is going like this, and here in the stomach is like so stuck that the train will go, out of the train.
In morda se vam kolo na tretjem očesu vrti izjemno hitro, nekje v trebuhu pa zelo, zelo počasi in tako se lahko iztiri celoten vlak.
So we call that an emotional crisis.
In temu rečemo čustvena kriza.
Yeah, so the universe use this. If this is our body here,
če je torej to naše telo,
here there is another person.
Tu pa je še ena oseba.
In this structure of the universe.
V tej strukturi univerzuma.
Yeah, with other chakras.
Spet nekdo s svojimi čakrami.
But they are connected to us.
Ampak ta oseba je z nami povezana.
So they give us some energy to move or clean some of our chakras.
Daje nam energijo, da očistimo in spravimo v pogon nekaj od naših čakr.
That's why it's important to be connected with other people and work on network.
In zato je pomembno, da smo povezani z drugimi ljudmi, da ustvarjamo to mrežo.
To work with others, share with others, be in love with others, share energy to keep moving.
Da delamo z drugimi, da sodelujemo z drugimi, da se zaljubimo v druge in da ves čas spravljamo naše kolesje v pogon.
But when this is stuck, and both of them are stuck,
ampak, če so zagozdene čakre pri obeh,
you start a couple crisis or whatever.
Se začne kriza odnosov, ali kakorkoli že temu rečete.
Because the chakras are not rolling properly in between. Or one of them start to move, but the other one don't.
Ker čakre ne delujejo v redu pri enem ali pri obeh, recimo, da se pri enem začnejo premikati, pri drugem pa ne.
That's when we start to believe that we need to be alone, that we must go to look for other places, other people, meet something different.
In takrat začnemo verjeti, da želimo čas zase, da želimo biti sami, da želimo potovati v druge kraje, da želimo spoznati druge ljudi.
But if we don't do that, we all start to be stuck around, because it's a network. So if I stuck, all the people around me start to be stuck too.
In kaj se zgodi? Kar na lepem sem zavozden ne le jaz, ker temu glasu ne sledim, ampak ker delujemo v medsebojni povezavi v tej mreži, so ujeti in zavozdeni tudi vsi okrog mene.
This is a fractal, so it happens in our own cells.
To je fraktal, torej zgodi se v naših celicah.
For example, a cell that is stuck became an illness.
Naprimer, celica, ki je tako ujeta in zavozdena, se pojavi bolezen.
And a big sphere in the planet, for example, is a country. So if a country is stuck, it has problems with the neighbor, so is a war.
In velik